Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Sami Zayn made his first title defense last night in his hometown of Montreal against the man who prepared him to face Gunther at WrestleMania 40, Chad Gable. That high-stakes contest between two of the most skilled in-ring performers in WWE headlined a card that continued the build to Backlash on Saturday, May 4, in Lyon, France. Was Sami able to retain his title? And which storyline twists and turns captivated fans? Find out now with this belated recap of last night's show, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Phenom Michael Bullock. Apologies for last night. We were supposed to have a show last night, but due to circumstances beyond MF's control and commitments beyond Michael Bullock's control, we had no choice but to postpone to tonight. And here we are. So we're all settled in now. And before we get started, gentlemen, and all of you out there, I just have one question for you all, and that is, what do you guys want to talk about? Well, I know exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about last night's Monday Night Raw from the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And then in a very special Tony's Take, I will give you my thoughts on AEW's Battle of the Belts that went down this past Saturday. And I will also give you a preview of the TNA Rebellion pay-per-view that goes down this Saturday night from the Palms Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. So with all that being said, gentlemen, let's dive on in. Of course, Monday Night Raw live last night from the aforementioned Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, the home of the Montreal Canadiens. And unfortunately, we had to start with some very bad news. Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley kicked off Raw with a disappointing announcement. She will be out of action for the foreseeable future and must vacate her title due to a right shoulder injury. However, the Australian vowed to come back for her title and anyone in her path before suggesting she would end up in Montreal prison if Liv Morgan crossed her path. Liv Morgan did, but security separated the superstars to end the segment. This is hugely disappointing news for the women's division, which Rhea Ripley has reigned over for over a year. Her reign was at 380 days, which tied Bayley for the longest title reign of that particular title that used to be the SmackDown Women's Championship before they rechristened it the Women's World Championship about a year ago. If she had held it one more day, she would have broken Bayley's record, and she probably would have been on her way to Bianca Belair's modern-day record of 420 days. But Bianca's record's going to hold for a good little while longer now. Someone will step up in her absence, but Rhea Ripley was a legitimate star who proved her ability to carry an entire premium live events promotion on her shoulders in the month of February with the Elimination Chamber in Australia. The ready-made feud with Liv Morgan will be fun, but rekindling the momentum Mommy had will be a tall task. Ripley acknowledged that the fans knew what was going on with her injury, something we would never have seen before. It is one element of the Triple H era that has been a welcome change, treating fans with respect and not like they are unknowledgeable. Ripley said, "I'm coming back for blood." And then backstage, Damian Priest promised to keep the Judgment Day strong and an eye on Dominic Mysterio for Mommy. I could honestly say this may have been the segment of the night here, even though there were some others that were good. But a huge blow to the women's division, to the Raw women's division in particular. The frontline soldier for our women's division is going to be on the shelf. And according to something Michael Bullock sent me earlier, he informed me and all of us that she could be out of action for upwards of 5 months, which means she's obviously out of France in Backlash, out of Scotland for Clash at the Castle, out of Toronto from Money in the Bank. She's going to be out of SummerSlam in Cleveland. And barring a miracle, she'll likely be out of the Bash in Berlin at the end of August. The way that this woman she is hands down the most over woman and the best. It's not even close. She's the best female wrestler on this planet. So much so that we unanimously voted her as our female wrestler of the year in 2023. No one had a more dominant 2023 than Rhea Ripley, winning the Women's Royal Rumble, setting a longevity record that was actually eclipsed by Bayley in this past Royal Rumble, winning the Women's World Champ, winning the then SmackDown Women's Championship from Charlotte Flair in what I still consider the greatest women's match in WrestleMania history, 5 stars and beyond. And then just held that title, dominated every challenger she was in there with. And then, most notably, in this year, took care of her business against Nia Jax in her home country of Australia. And then defeating Becky Lynch, a game Becky Lynch, who, oh, by the way, worked that match with a strep throat and a 102-degree temperature. Who does that? None of us would, honestly. But that's just a testament to how tough and badass Becky Lynch is. And my respect for her went up exponentially and tenfold upon hearing that news. But nonetheless, to Rhea Ripley, we send our thoughts and our prayers up to mommy, and I especially pray for as speedy and immediate a recovery as possible. And then when you come back, keep doing what you were doing before, because I mean, you are on your way to being an all-timer. And I believe she's still going to be an all-timer when all is said and done. An absolutely huge blow. And as for Liv Morgan, well, it's obvious the fans are turning on her. She's not the same lovable Liv we were all rooting for 2 years ago when she was looking for that elusive championship that she finally got, taking care of Ronda Rousey. No. Fans have turned on her, and it's very clear that they're pushing her, that they're planting the seeds for a heel turn for her, which I believe is going to do wonders for her. Her as this psychotic heel, I think it's going to do wonders. I really do. Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. So we'll see what happens. And then next Monday night, they promised that a new Women's World Champion will be crowned. But here's the thing. They did not say how that's going to be. My guess is, I'm hoping that they don't do this. I really don't want them to go that safe, predictable route by doing a battle royal. But I'm thinking that's where they're leaning towards. Or they could possibly be leaning towards perhaps a tournament. Maybe perhaps an 8-woman tournament. Maybe with the final match in France at Backlash. I don't know. But it's going to be very interesting to see how they crown that title. And whoever ends up holding it, and I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to be Liv Morgan, myself. Keep that thing warm, because when mommy comes back, business is damn sure going to pick up. So, mommy, we're thinking of you, and take care of you. Get this injury taken care of, and get back here and keep kicking ass and doing what you were doing, because you were on your way to one of the greatest women's runs that I've ever freaking seen. So, not much more for me to say here. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. You're the one who broke the news yesterday about Rhea's injury, that it was serious enough. And unfortunately, it is serious enough. It was confirmed. We saw her in the sling, and when we heard that she was opening the show, we're like, oh boy, this is not good. And sure enough, no longer the Women's World Champion. New champion to be crowned next week. We just don't know how.
Yeah.
But in the end, I believe it's going to be Liv Morgan.
And the thing is that I think a lot of people initially was pissed off at Liv Morgan for what happened, except after the fact that when Liv said what she said in her promo, it actually made valid sense. And not as many people are angry and they're like, you know what? Liv is right. Mommy deserved what she got because she did the exact same thing 1 year ago and cost Liv Morgan 8 months of her career. So I know I'm going to sound like a heel, and I know I'm going to sound very evil when I say this, but to Rhea Ripley, obviously, get well soon. We wish you nothing but the best, but karma is a bitch. You got what you deserved. You broke Liv Morgan's arm 8 months ago and cost Liv 8 months of her career. And now you got what you rightfully deserved. The ultimate payback in the eyes of the WWE fans. If there was ever poetic justice, this was it. Obviously, that wasn't the way that it was supposed to go down. And I know a lot of people are claiming, was it the chair shot that caused the injury? No. It was actually Liv's kick that kicked her right in the shoulder, and you saw the shoulder go backwards into that point of the wall. That's where she got the injury. That's where the injury occurred more than anything else. Now, there's rumors going around that actually Rhea was actually even injured leading up to WrestleMania and actually and was actually dealing with injury prior to WrestleMania. So she was working her. Now, there's some questions coming around. Was this actually a work? Was this to write Rhea Ripley off from television, get Liv Morgan the heat because they knew this was going to happen? When word got out that something was going on, I instantly went out, started getting feelers from my friends, and they were saying, I think we got problems. And I even showed them the report, what was going on, before I sent it to Anthony and Michael Bullock. And even the guys were like, if we see her in the sling, if she's coming out first on Monday Night Raw, we know we got problems. Sure enough, there's the sling. She came out first, and we knew, and instantly we knew, uh-oh, bye-bye belt. Then the one thing that's been posed, now I'm not going to go there, but there are people online that are not just upset with Liv Morgan, but then they're upset at WWE and actually yelling double standard. And here's the reason why. Seth Rollins was out of action for relatively a couple of months, yet was never stripped of the WWE Championship. Roman Reigns never defended the title, hardly ever shown up. When was he ever stripped of the undisputed WWE Universal Championship? Yet Rhea Ripley suffers an injury. It's going to be out at least 5 months. That's now been confirmed. She'll be out for 5 months. And she drops the belt. So I don't want to go there. Tonight's not the night. But there's a lot of people on the internet that is yelling double standard. How on earth can you let Seth Rollins run around as the world heavyweight champion when he did, yet he suffered an injury and never had the opportunity to lose the belt? Yet Rhea Ripley has an injury, and yet she has to forfeit the title. So that's the one thing we were hearing. That's the one thing I've been hearing all day today. Double standard. This is bull crap. All the stuff about why Rhea should be still the women's champion. Let her rehab it. Let her do something and get the belt back, and to keep the belt off that injury. So like I said, I get it. And with Rhea and the situation, this makes the most logical sense. You know, Liv Morgan will go heel. However, when the fans booed her initially until that promo, and then you started seeing the people's like, you know what? She's right. She's absolutely right. She lost 8 months of her career because of Rhea Ripley and the injury that she got. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Yeah, I'll say it. Shoulder for a shoulder. You know what? What's good for the goose is good for the flipping gander. You want it. This is that old adage. And Michael Bullock, you can take this in a second. The minute you F around, you're gonna find out. Rhea Ripley, you effed around 8 months about back in August, causing Rhea Ripley 8 months of her career. You found out why the revenge tour started, and it started with you. Now, I wish you nothing but the best. Yes, I'm playing heel commentator. This would be heel commentator Mike Fletcher from Monday Night Raw. And I would have said exactly the same thing. And I did last night. Anthony Florio went off on me on commentary. And I said, it's an eye for an eye. Rhea Ripley got exactly what she deserved. And rightfully so. No more to say. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Well, I don't know how the heck I'm going to follow that, but I don't even know if I'm even going to even bother trying. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's an unfortunate injury. I mean, Rhea Ripley, was a dominant champion for over a year, and for her to have this run end with this injury, it's a shame. But yeah, and like you said, I mean, when we first heard about it, we were like, how did this even happen? And then when I saw it, I mean, and earlier reports were thinking, I mean, some people were saying maybe it was the chair that did it, and I'll tell you this right now: if the chair had gotten the shoulder of Rhea Ripley, then and only then, Liv Morgan would have gotten backstage heat big time. Am I correct on that?
You are correct.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. If it was because of the chair, absolutely. I think she would have been torn to shreds.
Yeah, and then as we heard the reports that it was from the kick, and then it was just an unfortunate way that she hit the wall. And as soon as I heard that, and that's when I'm like, I hope people back off of Liv Morgan a little bit. I know there's still going to be some, and like you said, Fletch, when they're backing Liv and basically saying, hey, karma's a bitch, and you got what you deserve. But here's the thing, and there's an old saying from Gorilla Monsoon used to say, don't start something that you can't finish. Because when Rhea does get back, like she said in that promo, she's going to be out for blood. And Liv, Rhea's going to want your blood big time. And it's not going to be pretty, because when you mess with mommy, you don't like it when she's angry. So, yes, you can brag, you can do all this for now, but when she does come back, I would not want to be in your shoes when she targets your ass big time. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, now that she's going to be out 5 months, it basically puts her out of some of the international premium live events and even SummerSlam. And also, it ruins what I think would be like a potential dream matchup, because remember what I was saying leading up to the draft? There was one person that Rhea Ripley would hope to avoid, and that's Jade Cargill. because I was gonna say it right here. If Jade Cargill is on the same show as Rhea Ripley, I think she was gonna be the one to end the run of Rhea. And just imagine Rhea and Jade Cargill. That's gonna be that would have been an ultimate be a woman fight. So I wish Rhea nothing but the best. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on, Florio.
Well, we go from an injury and devastating loss in the women's division to a big-time return. Business has just picked up in the men's division because the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, is back in WWE. His first match since that unforgettable farewell match that he had against Edge last August in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, on that SmackDown. And how about this, guys? Sheamus brought back his old entrance theme, the lobster head. Oh, yeah. Oh. And, of course, Pat McAfee with the Fight Night Baby. Yeah, you know I love that. Sheamus returned to the squared circle for the first time since August 18, and the Celtic Warrior battled fellow big man Ivar of the Viking Raiders in singles competition last night. And the winner of the match, in 8 minutes and 20 seconds, it was no surprise, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. So, MF, Sheamus is back in WWE, and he brought back his old entrance theme. And he's got a little bit of a new look.
Yeah, I like it, man. It looks good. It looks good, man. Like I said, everything looked amazing for Sheamus. I was thoroughly impressed with the body of work that he did. Doesn't look like he skipped a beat either. That's actually the really good thing about this. Solid performance, good win for Shamo. This is about, I want to say about 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. I can't give it the full 3 because I thought it was a little slow and plotty in some moments, but they definitely were slapping meat. I definitely enjoyed this. Be a man meat fight, as we like to call it now, like everybody's been calling it now. So I mean, it was a good one, man. So Sheamus looked like he didn't skip a beat. We saw all the great, classic Sheamus stuff, the 10 bouts to the Bowery. Of course he hit him with that that Celtic, well, not the Celtic cross, that big boot. So I mean, he looked good. He looked good. I like to see him a little bit more, at least to get his feet wet and give him some good stuff. The first match was a good way to jump off for Sheamus, and then we'll see how he plays out. But I love it, man. And on top of that, just the fans getting to hear that old theme again. It's a classic. I think that was the biggest thing more than anything else that got us all excited, is that he got his old theme back. So can't wait to see what they do. And yeah, Michael Bellick, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give this 2.5 stars. I mean, yeah, it's good to see Sheamus back. I mean, after being away for a while, and yeah, it looks like he hasn't lost a beat. And yeah, I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with Sheamus on Raw or wherever he ends up come the draft. So good first match for him back. I mean, so yeah, 2.5 stars. So it's yours, Florio.
The Irishman matched Ivar's physicality, proving he has not lost a step as far as that is concerned. A game, Ivar looked great as he continued his preparations to challenge Obafemi for the NXT North American Championship, but ultimately found himself on the receiving end of the kneecap for the win as Sheamus got back to his winning ways. The Celtic Warriors should be in the mix for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship in a picture that is suddenly brimming with talent. Sheamus returned with the Written in My Face theme that accompanied his debut in WWE in 2009. As great as his other theme is, this one just felt right. And Michael Cole pointed out that the Intercontinental title is the one belt Sheamus has yet to win in WWE, perhaps setting the stage for his motivation. So, Not much to say on that. 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. I agree with the rating. All right, so we move on, and well, Papa H in the house. And when Papa H is in the house, you know business is damn sure going to pick up. And guess what? To the surprise of none of us, it did. But he wasn't alone. He had Raw General Manager Adam Pearce in the ring with him. And he called out the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Awesome Truth, R-Truth, and The Miz. And, well, they are no longer going to be known as the Raw Tag Team Champions. From this day forward, gentlemen, the Awesome Truth are going to be known as the World Tag Team Champions. And to prove it, we have new World Tag Team Championship belts. And then a 2-for-1 deal as it led into a triple threat match featuring DIY, the Creed Brothers, and the New Day. And the winners of that match in 10 minutes and 55 seconds. And the first challengers for R-Truth and The Miz and the newly created World Tag Team Championship, it's going to be DIY. So Michael Bullock, you get to lead off on this. First off, how do you like the new World Tag Team Championship belts? And also, DIY will get the first shot at the Awesome Truth next Monday night on Raw at the campus of Ohio State. So no more Raw Tag Team Championship. Hello, once again, to the World Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we last heard of the World Tag Team Championships since the original brand split. So yeah, that's actually they actually look good, and yeah, I like the new look to the belts. I mean, it's the same thing like we see with the World Heavyweight Championship and the Women's World Championship, and now we got a World Tag Team Championship. So like the new look, and as far as the match goes, I'll give it about 3 to maybe 3 1/4. I mean, this was a tremendous match here, and yeah, this is going to be a first true test for the Awesome Truth as the now World Tag Team Champions against DIY. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Yes, Triple H and Adam Pearce introduced R-Truth and The Miz as the World Tag Team Champions and presented them with brand new belts. It was the latest opportunity to drive home the idea of a new era in WWE, while also doing away with the eyesores that were the former tag title belts. The segment segued into a triple threat match between the Creeds, the New Day, and DIY. As one may imagine, with a pool of superstars that include Julius and Brutus Creed, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano, this was an incredibly fun match. The action was nonstop, the spots were fun and creative, and the right team went over as DIY earned the first championship opportunity against the Awesome Truth. R-Truth confused Triple H with Tommaso Ciampa in a funny bit. Kofi Kingston kicked out at 2 after Project Ciampa in a great near fall. And Triple H needs to get Julius Creed in the ring with top guys so he can continue to learn and evolve, because he continuously shows flashes. 3 1/4 to 3.5 stars is my rating for this. And very interesting look to the World Tag Team Championship belts. And I saw a funny meme earlier where a fan photoshopped a pizza as the round plate of the World Tag Team Championship belts. Kind of thought that was a little funny, but other than that though, I mean, interesting look. I mean, it's very similar to the other World Championships, similar to the newly christened World Heavyweight Championship. a similar look to the Women's World Championship, but in tag team title form. So interesting look to say the very least. So 3.25, 3.5. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Awesome Truth and DIY. I got a good feeling that could be a good match. So we'll see what happens at Ohio State next week. So 3.25, 3.5. So MF, World Tag Team Championship belts, yay or nay? What do you say?
Yay. For the most part, the only criticism I have with the belt, they should have, instead of it being in a gold looking, I think it would look amazing in silver. That's a minor criticism. I think the belt looks amazing. I think it looks fresh. It looks clean. That's exactly what it needs to be. I cannot wait to see the SmackDown belts and get rechristened as the WWE Tag Team titles, because you know that's probably most likely going to happen now on Friday night, is that A-Town Down Under most likely are going to get brand new tag team titles themselves. And I would not be surprised if we see Papa H and down there with Nick Aldis to present them with their new tag team titles. Obviously, to show that we are definitely in a new era. So I think that would be really, really cool. As far as the belts go, they look clean, they look sharp, they look nice. The only thing is, instead of the gold plating, I would have gone with the silver plating on it. That's the only problema I had. But everything else looked nice. As far as and dude, it was funny, haha. R-Truth losing his mind, freaking out at the brand new titles, and then to poke fun about Triple H, saying, "Wait a minute, where's Triple H?" And I'm like, "Wait, huh?" He's like, "Where's Triple H?" I'm like, "Dude, he's oh no!" Like, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but guys, R-Truth did it. He had me do the Michael Fletcher I can't take your face. He had me do it.
Yeah. Did you expect anything less from R-Truth?
Yeah. It was full double palms with my towel over my face. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. No.
It's like, oy, just mio. What the hell were you thinking?
Well, I mean, even Hunter, I feel for you, Hunter. We love you, bro. You're the greatest. But yeah, we felt it. Yeah, no, man, this is amazing. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good way to start it. And then for DIY to win it, great match. It was a 3.25 stars. Anthony, I totally agree. And yeah, we'll wait and see how it plays out. So nothing more to say. Florio, back to you.
All right, MF, and we move on to, well, all right. We can chill for a minute because we have a cutout here. Maxine Dupree and Ivy Niles squaring off against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell win the match 3 minutes and 35 seconds. I'll be honest. If I had to put a rating on this, I would give it maybe one or so for the effort. I mean, I'm not going to call it a dud or anything, even though I'm inclined to. Indy Hartwell has embraced the dark side, as evidenced by her performance last night as she teamed with Candice LeRae to defeat Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile. Indy did what she has resisted the urge to do to this point by underhandedly scoring the win on Maxine. The former NXT Women's Champion had been ridiculed by Candice LeRae previously for not doing what was necessary to score the win, but she cheated just enough here to win, and judging by the look on her face, she liked that feeling. It'll be interesting to see how much this changes Hartwell moving forward, but there is room for her and LeRae to go on a run as top-tier contenders, if not actual women's tag team champions down the line. But and seeing Indy Hartwell on television is a reminder, where in the blue hell is Dexter Lumis? That's all I'm asking.
Yes.
Yep, I heard.
Where is he, man?
Yeah. Good question indeed. So Not much more to say there. So 1 star for the effort. So we move on. We will address this one, though. Andrade squaring off against Dominic Mysterio. Andrade wins the match, 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Another 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. I'll say it like this. As we all know, Andrade teamed with Rey Mysterio to defeat Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 40. Last night, El Idolo battled Dirty Dom one-on-one. The resilient Andrade fought back, thwarting further attempts at interference and scoring the win with a twisting hammerlock DDT. Post-match beatdown concluded with Ricochet hitting the ring and chasing the heels off. There are worse uses of Ricochet and Andrade as loose allies against the Judgment Day, especially with the WWE draft on the horizon. If that keeps them busy and on TV until Triple H and company figure out where or what they want them to do in the coming months, so be it. Their matches should at least be a ton of fun. And McAfee, funny commentary moment saying, "This country destroyer" on the apron, as Dominic Mysterio hit Andrade with the flipping pile driver made famous by the great Canadian wrestler and one of the greatest TNA X Division champions of all time in Petey Williams. Ricochet making the save for Andrade after his recent issues with the Judgment Day makes sense and is exactly the thing this creative regime loves to do. It meshes stories and keeps everyone involved. So not much more. 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. MF, when I say a possible alliance or a temporary alliance between Ricochet and Andrade, I know you got to be loving that.
Dude, when you get Ricochet, who I've dubbed half man, half amazing, and then you get a guy like Andrade together. Oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be really good. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, there's really nothing more to add. I really enjoy it more than anything else. Like I said, it was a solid match between him and Dirty Dom. It's about 2.5. It was about a 3.25. So I really got nothing more to say. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll give it about 2.5 stars when it comes to this. I mean, I enjoyed the action here. I mean, Andrade getting the win certainly wasn't a surprise, and obviously the double team at the end from Dominic and JD McDonough, and then of course Ricochet coming out to make the save. So yeah, you got Andrade and Ricochet together. Oh man, I could expect some really good things from this. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add to it. So let's move on for you.
And we move on to, unfortunately, another cutout here. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven squaring off against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven win the match in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Yeah, this was a dud. I was a little kinder for the other match. This one, yeah. Chelsea Green won on her return to her native Canada last night as she partnered with Piper Niven to defeat Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. It was the first victory for Chelsea Green in what felt like an eternity, but it was made possible because of her more powerful partner. The match was fine for what it was, a showcase of the tag team division, specifically Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. With Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, holding the women's tag team titles, it may appear 2 heel teams going over Monday night is a questionable decision. But I believe it's only a matter of time before Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair ultimately win the titles. And building challengers for them should be a priority. So there's I will say I will say this. It's the first episode of WWE TV in some time that gave hope that some effort was being put into building the women's tag team division, which, as we all know, has not really, done wonders exactly. It hasn't gone over the way they had hoped that it would, but nonetheless, let's move on here, and We move on to a in-ring segment. WWE champion Cody Rhodes. He comes out. He did the "What do you want to talk about?" bit, but he did it in French. Okay, well played, Cody. Well played. I mean, it's one thing where I lose Rhea Ripley, and now, unless they throw a major curveball at us, Cody Rhodes could be SmackDown bound. And I know good old MF Michael Fletcher will welcome him with open arms. Undisputed WWE Universal Champion Cody Rhodes entered the Bell Center to a deafening ovation. And so there isn't much more to say here. So MF, like I said, unless they're planning a major curveball here when it comes to the draft, the most over guy in WWE could be your next frontline soldier.
Already on the, if you checked on the WWE website, he already is the frontline soldier of SmackDown. He actually is labeled on the SmackDown lineup. So it is amazing. It is awesome. Much love. And Cody, like I said, I don't mind him showing up on Raw, showing up on SmackDown, because he is doing more than enough to whet our appetite, even though it's only promos and whatnot, putting guys over, which is great. He's doing more than the current World Heavyweight Champion has done yet, which is Damian Priest. And as a matter of fact, he's done more than plenty than Roman Reigns ever did as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. But remember, Anthony, it's no longer the undisputed Universal Champion. He is the undisputed WWE Champion. The Universal title got retired. So the Universal title is gone. It's out. It's no longer with us. Roman Reigns was the last champion. He'll forever be the greatest Universal Champion of our era. When it comes to the WWE title, that's the belt we got. That's the belt that we have. And quite frankly, I can't, Cody is waiting on an opponent, which is either going to be LA Knight or AJ Styles. We'll find that out on Friday night, because whoever wins that is going to Lyon to fight for the title in Palais du Français at Backlash. So, yeah, really nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I thought this was a good promo. I mean, basically, yeah, he is now the property of SmackDown as its undisputed WWE champion, and you never know. There still could be a chance that he is back on Raw via the draft. So we'll just have to wait and see with it. But yeah, he'll be on his way to SmackDown, and of course, he'll be finding out who will be his first opponent for that title. And then, of course, out comes Jey Uso, and they had a nice little exchange. And right at the end of the day, it says, "Until we eat again, yeet." So, yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say on it. So, it is yours, Florio.
Like I said, barring a major curveball via the draft, this one hits hard for me because I've been the biggest Cody supporter, and Bullock right behind me, and I will forever be grateful for the 2 years of service that Cody gave to Monday Night Raw. And Bullock and I mean, I know all of it. I know MF was happy for him too, but Bullock and I were the happiest that Cody, got his moment, finished the story at WrestleMania. which I now consider the best and greatest ending to a WrestleMania ever. No WrestleMania ending starting next year and forward is ever going to top that. It's going to take a village and a Herculean effort to top it, to give us an ending better than that. But undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes entered the Bell Center to a deafening ovation and wasted little time thanking Seth Rollins before turning his attention to The Rock and the Bloodline. He said he believed the final boss has more than one match left in him, continuing to tease the idea of the two of them battling in the future. He questioned who really called for Tama Tonga to attack Jimmy Uso last Friday on SmackDown when Roman Reigns was not around to do it. The American Nightmare then called out Jey Uso and thanked him for helping him at WrestleMania. He asked to return the favor, but Jey said he needed to do this himself. It was not a newsworthy promo, but it was another opportunity for the top champion to get in front of the fans and began planting of seeds for top stars involving the Bloodline. The reaction for Cody was otherworldly. Cody said, "I don't think The Rock has one more match in him. I think he has several." Pat McAfee said, "I just yeeted myself. A nice Canadian yeet job, especially in this building." McAfee said as Jey Uso made his entrance, doing the yeet dance that he's been known for. And until we yeet again, Cody finished with his night with a dad joke. So solid segment, and that led into our next match. Jey Uso squaring off against Judgment Day's Finn Balor. And it was Jey Uso. Jey Uso wins the match in 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Michael Bullock, nothing left to say except a fun little sprint between Jey Uso and Finn Balor. Jey Uso winning in 6:45 as he continues to get that momentum before he heads to Backlash to challenge Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeet.
Yeah, I'll give this about 2.5, 2.75. I mean, it was a fun little sprint. I mean, with these two, but I really thought maybe these two could have gotten a little more. But great win for Jey Uso. Definitely build some momentum for him going into his match against Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship at Backlash in France. So. So there's really nothing more for me to say. It's yours, Florio.
In preparation for his showdown with Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship at Backlash, Jey Uso battled Finn Balor in singles competition last night. Solid match out of Uso and Balor that concluded with the challenger getting one over on the champion and his cronies. Incredibly popular and able to withstand a defeat from a credibility standpoint, Jey Uso is the best option to challenge Damian Priest for his World Heavyweight Championship to this point. Few could have imagined Jey Uso would remain as popular as he is without the presence of Roman Reigns. Is Finn Balor approaching the underrated realm? He is so talented and effective that the inaugural Universal Champion might just be overlooked in terms of his in-ring work. I agree with Bullock's rating, 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. So MF, nice tune-up for Jey Uso as he prepares for the opportunity of a lifetime when he challenges Damian Priest for that World Heavyweight Championship in France.
Absolutely. This was a 2.5 to 2 3/4. It was a solid matchup. It was exactly what it needed it to be, and so there was really nothing more to add here. So Florio, it's back to you.
All right, gentlemen, and all right. So before we get to the main event, how awesome was Sami Zayn's entrance last night?
Amazing.
I mean, this is another one of those production things that Papa H and his crew have really done so well. And let's set the table for next week, which will be live from the campus of Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. We crown a new women's world champion. R-Truth and The Miz will defend the World Tag Team Championship against DIY. And we got Ricochet and Andrade squaring off against Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. And it leads us to the highly anticipated main event of the evening. Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship on the line. New champion, Sami Zayn. His first televised title defense since his emotional and epic victory over Gunther at WrestleMania. Defending against Chad Gable. Winner of the match in 17 minutes and 15 seconds. And still the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. It is Sami Zayn. However, after the match was over, Chad Gable turned heel. Chad Gable, as Sami Zayn was celebrating with his wife Khadijah at ringside. Chad Gable, as Sami and his wife were embracing, Sami Zayn literally German suplexed him off of her. I mean, freakish. And then full holy heel turn, Batman. We got a heel Chad Gable. And guess what? I absolutely freaking love it. MF, you may be the heel commentator on this show, and rightfully so, but I'm going to have my say on this one in just a moment as the OG when it comes to heel commentators. Obviously, fight of the night. 4.25, teetering on 4.5 stars. Sami Zayn retained the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship in the main event of Raw, a red-hot matchup with Chad Gable that continued the unforgettable year the underdog from the underground finds himself in. The ultra-competitive bout saw Sami Zayn outlast his determined opponent, who repaid the champion for granting him a title match by attacking the victor during a post-match embrace with his wife. The heel turn was something most felt was coming and will give us something we have not seen in a long time. A serious and driven Chad Gable with a clear motivation and by any means possible approach. Then that the beatdown took place in Sami's hometown made it even better. The hype surrounding the match made for a big fight atmosphere before either man dealt a blow. And Sami Zayn has developed into a legitimate main event talent in WWE, and thanks in large part to his ability to tell a story between the ropes, has low-key entered his name into the GOAT conversation. And now, MF, you had some fun. You had some fun about, the whole Rhea Ripley thing, as the heel commentator for this particular show. Yes. But for a brief moment in time, the OG heel commentator is going to take the stand on this one. I absolutely love the heel turn. I really do. If it means, that he abolishes the whole Shoosh thing, that's fine. I mean, it was fun while it lasted. I had 2 Shoosh shirts to prove it. That's how much I loved it. And, but nonetheless, a more serious Chad Gable, a more focused Chad Gable, who will do whatever he has to do to win. And as Ted DiBiase said at the 1994 Royal Rumble about Owen Hart, he finally jumped out of, the goodness shadow here. And I see this young man going straight to the top. I really do. And it's about damn time he woke up. I absolutely love it. So that's all there is to say on that. So I know there are some people disappointed, but you know what? Tough crap. That's it. You don't like it? Too bad. Deal with it. I was hoping for this. I prayed about this. And I got it. So thank you very much for that. I'm going to love this new Chad Gable. Nobody's going to love this more than I am. Oh, am I going to have fun with this? So 4.25, 4.5 stars. Incredible match. Fight of the night. It's definitely in the conversation for TV fight of the year. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So MF, to the surprise of none of us, a damn near 5-star classic here, although it was about 4.25, 4.5. But the big talking point, Chad Gable heel turn. And I know you love it as much as I do, but you're going to have to get in line because nobody's embracing this heel turn more than I am.
Yeah, and I got to say it, man, even though we didn't hear it at the end of Monday Night Raw, we had a non-PG moment with the fans in Montreal as they basically said, F you, Gable. F you, Gable. I'm
Too
not
bad.
going to say, huh?
Too bad, people. You don't like
That,
it. Deal with
so
it.
that's exactly what it is. They, like it,
Careful what you say, Florio, because if you were in Montreal and you said that to them, they would
yeah,
eat you
no,
alive.
I mean, even though I know it, but the thing is that I would not, especially a Montreal crowd, I don't trust them as much as I can throw them. And
I could-
especially us three being New Englanders,
Uh,
you know
Austin,
the minute,
yeah.
no, and I'm gonna say this. I don't care about us. I don't care about you, about me and you, Anthony. I fear more about Michael Bullock. Because if you start wearing your Boston Red Sox, your Boston Bruins garb in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, I'm
Goodbye.
more worried about you, Michael Bullock, than I am about Florio or myself. Because we know the rivalry between the Canadiens and the Bruins. So that's what I would say. So, look, they don't like the shenanigans. They don't like the trouble. They don't like the whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, absolutely, this was an incredible thing more than anything else. And yeah, it was. It was a great match. 4.5 stars. I'll give you that. And I really got nothing more to say. So Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Well, let's just say I would never attempt to wear a Bruins jersey up in Montreal. I mean, I'm way smarter than that. I mean, if I knew I was going to go up there, I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking that jersey with me. Plain and simple. So, yeah, 4.5 stars. I mean, fight of the night, hands down. I mean, what a match this was. The outcome was never in doubt. I mean, did you honestly think for 1 second that they were going to have him drop the belt, especially in his home of Montreal, Quebec, Canada? No. But this set it up perfectly for this heel turn. Yeah, no more of that the shoes Chad Gable. I think those days are done for. But now, I mean, and you wonder if he's going to abolish and say Alpha Academy is dead. So if that's the case, then the question is, what do the rest of the Alpha Academy? What are they going to? They're going to probably want some answers from Chad Gable. Otis is going to probably want answers. Akira Tozawa is probably going to want answers, and especially Maxine Dupree. So we'll keep an eye on those things. So 4.5 stars, fight of the night. So there's nothing more to say except let's get into our overall thoughts on this edition of Raw.
And good old MF Michael Fletcher starts it off.
This was actually a pretty good Raw. Everything that it needed it to be. It was a good story. Obviously, it does start with, unfortunately, the heartbreak of Rhea Ripley, the injury, and her being out for the 5 months. It definitely broke our heart more than anything else. But at the end of the day, it was good. It was good what it needed it to be. It was exactly what it needed it to have. Great action, good wrestling. The stories were very, very good, to say the very least. Obviously, the heartbreak was at the end, with the Rhea Ripley story. But like I said, there are some people that kind of feels like, she got what she deserved. Well, from some fans, not everybody, but there were some fans out there that did say she got what she deserved and everything else. Then you're gonna have the Rhea Ripley fans that are gonna come out and like, no, that's bull crap, the whole 9 yards. So you're gonna have it's gonna go both ways. Let's say that. So at the end, it was incredible. It was a good show. I could say about 7.5 to 8 out of 10 is my rating. So nothing more to say. And Michael Malik, it's yours.
7.5 for me. I can't go the 8. I mean, yeah, you had some good matches here, but unfortunately, you did have a couple of cutouts here. I mean, especially, yeah, a couple of cutouts that really I didn't like at all. So, 7.5 for me. Good show. It's yours, Florio.
I'm with MF on this one. 7.5 to 8 for me as well. Last night's show continued the implementation of a new era in WWE. We saw new titles introduced, the return of Sheamus, and the continuation of key storylines, while the unfortunate news from Rhea Ripley added further gravity to the show. Add to that a renewed emphasis on the Women's Tag Team Championships and the tease of what is to come in the storyline between Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline, and you have a show that was a fun watch and had a great main event. So this was a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me. So not much more to say on that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna get into a very special Tony's Take. It's not the usual one, you know, the one where I would talk about Impact Wrestling and NXT Level Up. No, we're gonna let's start with the AEW Battle of the Belts that took place this past Saturday night, and which followed AEW Collision. And we started it off with a battle for the FTW Championship. The champion Hook defending against the leader of Shane Taylor Promotions, that being Shane Taylor himself. And the winner of the match, I'm just trying to get the fall here. But all I do know is that Hook successfully defended the title. So just bear with me for a minute as I, look for a little more on this. So okay, hold on one second. Okay. All right, I think I have it. Oh, no, I don't. Okay. So but I will I think it was about a 10-minute or so match. So I do apologize for not having this. I'm just trying to find the time of the fall for this particular bout. So a great underdog victory for the cold-hearted handsome devil. And I will say it was the best Shane Taylor has looked in months. And Shibata offered to be in Hook's corner, but Hook said that he had this one. So he's like, thanks, but no thanks, in a sense. And Shane Taylor is great at taunting his opponents because he's so believable as a badass. Time of the fall was 10 minutes and 25 seconds. So that's about 3 stars, maybe 3.25. AEW International Championship Eliminator match. We saw Roderick Strong, the international champion, squaring off against Rocky Romero. And winner of the match, 11 minutes and 39 seconds. It was Roderick Strong. 3.25, teetering on 3.5 for this one. These guys are both as versatile as it gets, so it was no surprise to see them use a variety of different moves throughout the bout. Sadly, the crowd seemed a bit tired and was only making noise during the most exciting moments of the bout. A quiet crowd can make a big difference, but Romero and Strong are good enough to make you see how good they are. Romero had some great sequences that woke up the crowd a bit, but a jumping knee from Roderick Strong put him away for the pin. Kyle O'Reilly came out to congratulate Roddy, but also checked on Rocky Romero and helped him before Wardlow hit a clothesline. And then Strong nailed O'Reilly and yelled in his face that he would never be able to do it on his own. AEW needs to do a better job at defining what an eliminator match is, because this bout being on Battle of the Belts made a lot of people think it was for the title. And Romero makes everything look so easy. So 3.25, 3.5. Main event, Ring of Honor Women's World Championship on the line. The champion Athena defending the title against Red Velvet. A winner of the match, 12 minutes and 44 seconds, and still the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. It is Athena. By default, this was the fight of the night. 3.25, teetering on 3.5. Billy Starks was walking around the ring as the opponent shook hands to observe the code of honor per Ring of Honor protocol. Yes, MF, I mentioned it because I know how seriously you take it. They locked up and battled for control until making a clean break. They were given a lot of time to work and put on a solid title match to close out the show. Velvet looked like she had something to prove and put on a great performance to make sure AEW fans don't forget about her. This was another in a long line of good performances from Athena, but it was also a reminder that Red Velvet is a valuable player in the women's division. The Forever Champ retained her title and celebrated with a minion. And then Queen Aminata made the save when they continued attacking Velvet. The beautiful Lexi Nair doing the ring announcements, I thought was a nice touch. It's so easy to forget how tall Billy Starks is until you see her next to someone like Athena. Red Velvet has improved a lot since signing with AEW. Every part of her game has gotten better. And Athena catching Velvet flying off the top rope with one arm is wild. 3 1/4, 3.5. And that's all I can really say on that. So this was about a 7 out of 10, maybe 7.5. Like I said, it was a solid show. I mean, I know I got a little ahead of myself saying it was the best one ever. No, it wasn't. I mean, it was solid. It was just not overly spectacular. And another thing that I feel needs to be addressed in regards to this, we did not see one AEW championship belt defended. The closest thing we had was the International Championship, but that was in an eliminator match. That should have been a title match. You also had the FTW Championship, which is not really a sanctioned AEW championship. And then you had a Ring of Honor Championship. Give us a reason to look forward to these. Utilize AEW championships. Utilize bigger names. That'll definitely help with these. That'll give people a reason to take these shows seriously. So, but like I said, it was a fine show. I mean, not the greatest, but it was fine. So it was around the 7.5 threshold. So I'm not going to go further into detail on it. So with all that being said, let's talk about let's preview what's coming up this Saturday night at the Palms Casino. The Palms Casino Resort in Paradise, Nevada, outside of Las Vegas. The 6th event under the TNA Rebellion chronology. And we're going to have 9 matches altogether, but 2 of them are going to be on a pre-show. Are going to be on the Countdown pre-show. We're going to see Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat. They will defend the Knockouts Tag Team Championship against the challengers and former champions in their own right, Decay, which happens to be Havoc and Rosemary. And then we will see 6-man tag team action. ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, they're going to team up with Leon Slater against the new 3 members of the Rascals, Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and their new member, Myron Reed. So that'll be 6-man tag team action. Those 2 matches on the pre-show. On to the main card. And we're going to go bottom to top. We started off, Joe Henry will square off against Rich Swann of the newly dubbed First Class Tag Team. He'll have his partner, AJ Francis, Top Dollar or Flop Dollar, whatever you want to call him. Joe Henry will square off against Rich Swann. And that's a tough one to call, but I wouldn't be surprised if Swann wins this match because of interference from AJ Francis. I would not at all put it past it. MF, you're going to love this next match. We're going to get a rubber match between Josh Alexander and Hammerstone, but it's not going to be a regular wrestling match. Oh, no. Josh Alexander versus Hammerstone in a last man standing match. Oh, boy. It's got to be Josh. It's got to be, because whenever we have a rubber match, 9 times out of 10, the babyface usually wins it, and especially in this stipulation, I got to go with Josh in this one. If Hammerstone were to win, that would be massive for him. That would be huge. It'd be the biggest win of his career. But I got to go with Josh for right now. Knockouts Championship on the line. The champion, Jordan Grace, defending against Steph DeLander with Matt Cardona in her corner. Now, for those of you NXT fans, Michael Bullock, you know who Steph DeLander is. Persia Parada. You remember her? She used to hang around Indy Hartwell some time ago. So she's challenging Jordan Grace for the Knockouts Championship. My gut tells me to go with Jordan to retain, but I would not at all be surprised if DeLander wins the title, especially with Cardona running around. Oh, yeah. But well, watch out for Ash by Elegance as well. I think the former Dana Brooke could be a factor in this match. Eric Young versus Frankie Kazarian, a battle of TNA originals. Full Metal Mayhem match. Okay. I got to go with EY. I got to go with Eric Young. I think EY wins this matchup. X Division Championship on the line. The champion Mustafa Ali defending the title against Jake something. Mustafa Ali. I say Mustafa Ali retains. And I think they're going to want to continue his run a little bit longer. But I would not at all be surprised if Jake something were to win the title. I wouldn't. World Tag Team Championships on the line. The champions Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers of the System defending against the Speedball Mountain. Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. Yes, that Trent Seven, formerly of Mustache Mountain with Tyler Bate over in NXT UK. I got to go with my gut here. My gut tells me the System retains, but my heart says to go with Speedball Mountain and win the titles, but I don't know. I would not at all be surprised if they go with the System to retain. And then the main event of the evening, TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion Moose defending the title against Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler. I'm calling for a new champ. I think Nemeth wins the title and would give him his biggest win in over 11 years. He hasn't had a win of this magnitude since he cashed in Money in the Bank the night after WrestleMania 29 on Alberto Del Rio when he won the World Heavyweight Championship at the old Meadowlands in New Jersey. So I would not at all be surprised if Nick Nemeth walks out of there the new champion. I wouldn't. So if Moose were to retain, I would be surprised because let's not forget the last 2 years at Rebellion, we've seen a new World Heavyweight Champion crowned. 2 years ago, Josh Alexander dethroned Moose for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then last year, we were guaranteed a new champion because the title was vacant. Josh Alexander relinquishes the title to injury, sets up a winner-take-all match between Steve Maclin and Kushida. Steve Maclin walked out the new champion before losing it 2 months later to Alex Shelley at Against All Odds last June. So, but I would not at all be surprised if we see a new champion crowned in the form of Nick Nemeth, formerly Dolph Ziggler. So that all goes down this Saturday night on pay-per-view. You can also watch it on TNA Plus. You can also watch it on Triller, formerly Fight TV. And just go on to TNAWrestling.com and find out all the details. And it goes down this Saturday night. Pre-show starts around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Main show starts around 8. And I will have a review of that show in another special Tony's Day coming up this Monday night as part of hopefully Ridiculously Raw back in our traditional time slot. So, all right. So with that being said, that will put the bow on this special Tuesday night edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We will be back with you tomorrow night at 10:30, or this time over on MF's channel, Racefan 95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Madness, as we will have NXT, we will have AEW Dynamite, and boy howdy, are they in need of a bounce back show after that disaster from last week. And then Friday night here on the Tone 25, 10:30, it's TXN Sports World. Big show here. We will be previewing the first round of both the Stanley Cup and NBA playoffs. That all goes down on Friday. In addition, we will also preview week 4 of the UFL. And in the main event, time permitting, good old MF Michael Fletcher will have a recap we'll recap the UFC 300 pay-per-view, including the greatest knockout you will ever see in UFC history. If you haven't seen it already, go out of your way to see it. I'm telling you, MF lost his mind. I lost my mind. The internet lost its damn mind when they saw this knockout. I haven't been watching UFC as long as MF has, but I will say this. When I saw it, I went on the record and I said to myself, that's the greatest knockout I've ever seen. And I know MF's going to have a lot more to say on that on Friday night. So, and then Saturday night, MF will have it. Saturday night, Cerebral Smack Talk. as it will be. We got Friday Night SmackDown. We got AEW Collision. And on top of that, guys, we will also be previewing the AEW Dynasty pay-per-view. So big night and another big week of content coming up for you, friends. And we can't wait to bring it to you. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Madness, Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, of course, always and forever, the first lady of our show, the one and only Twisted Angel Didi Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Wednesday. And until tomorrow night, for Wednesday Night Madness over on MF channel, Bracement 95, you've been watching this special Tuesday edition of Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.